Good evening. This is Jeff Beggs. I'm Director of Athletics for Atlanta Public Schools, and you're here tonight to watch Sports Update, the show that talks a lot about sports, but it also talks about the schools, and each week we highlight one of our schools and the great things that are going on in that school. So I hope you enjoy the show. Sit back and relax. We'll be back in just a moment.
Coverage. Jermaine, you got to get in the middle a little bit. Get ready. Kind of neutralize yourself. Jermaine, watch the tight end. Watch the tight. Yeah. Thank you, Ralph. Let's go, dude. Quarterback. Oh my God.
That only way they getting their runs is when they double teaming on me on his side, cause they strong side.
These boys ain't gonna come down with no arm tackle. I'm just gonna tell y'all that now. Y'all gotta put some shoulders on them and bring them down. I know you are. Y'all gotta put shoulders on them. These boys don't come down at all. It's hard. These real running backs here. They ain't gonna come down. You got the hit, Steve. It's like, I saw that.
Can't get out.
I saw that. We'll see.
No, they saying that what it is.
If they up high and low, ain't coming. That's right. They not coming. I know.
That's why he pulled them out. Y'all doing y'all job.
Yeah.
The linebacker's not coming. Don't worry about it. Y'all play. Let's play our game, all right?
Yes. Malik, let's go. Get Bama. Blue tight bucks me. Come on. Double crack. Keep running the squeeze. Woo! Bama.
We're here now with Mr. Thomas Kenner, interim principal for Maynard Jackson High School. Mr. Kenner, it's great to have you here. I know you're excited. Maynard Jackson has a big ball game tonight against Callaway, and we get to cheer them on. It's great that it's a home game for Maynard Jackson. Mr. Kenner, talk to us about some of the great things that are going on right now at Maynard Jackson High School.
Well, this is a good year for us, even though we've had some complications because we're in a relocation site. But the beautiful thing is that in the beginning of next school year, we will have a $42 million new building, with all of the technology, the bells and the whistles that will help make a great school. Because a great school is about your students, your staff, and your parents.
You mentioned your students. How have the students responded in terms of the move, moving from Maynard Jackson High School to what used to be Cohen Middle School? How has that move, how has that affected the students?
We've had to overcome some things because we have 14 portable classrooms. When we were in our old location, we were pretty pure academies. In other words, you stayed within that configuration of classes, and this year we're trying something different. So we've had some challenges, but now I think finally we're in a groove and we're getting used to it, and kids know how to handle it.
And you mentioned your faculty. How about your faculty? How have they responded?
I think wonderfully well, because anytime you have a lot of changes, schedule changes, location changes, room changes, you're moving in, that's quite a challenge. And you need to have some flexibility, and you need to have some soldiers that are going to help you get all of those things ironed out and make it a good process for our students and our parents.
And the bottom line is teaching and learning.
Absolutely.
And I know that's going on.
Absolutely. Teaching and learning. We just looked last week at, we had great increases in gains in our SAT and ACT scores. In spring of this year, we are very hopeful because we get our final visit. We'll be a fully authorized IB school, which will be the only second high school in Atlanta Public Schools. And so we've got some great things going on.
Well, Mr. Kenner, we're very proud of the job you've done in stepping in that transition and making it not just the best we can, but making it and continuing a great tradition at Maynard Jackson High School, and we appreciate your time today.
Yeah, and one more plug, we have a new partner, and it's called Graduation Generation, and they are working with our kids It's in service learning, it's in general support to our teachers, our parents, and it's helping us in a lot of different ways. And then one more thing I'm going to say, even in our relocation, we have probably tripled our parent involvement, and we are very proud of that.
That's great.
Thank you.
That is fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Kenner. We appreciate your time. This has been Thomas Kenner, interim principal at Maynard Jackson High School. We'll be back in just a moment.
That means go forward to y'all gaps. Y'all got to stop in the dive every play. Hit that fullback every play. Go hit somebody every. We not wait. You read on your way to the dive. You understand? You read on your way to go stop that in the middle. We not sitting at that read. We going to stop that dive. That's the first thing inside linebacker doing. If you see it, you there practice. Let's go up in there. If you see it, that's right.
It's on your side. You come on. He scrape over.
But they will cut back. Keep watching the cut back lane. But y'all got to go for the dives first. You got to stop that first. That's y'all job. Stop the dive. Let everybody else do their job. Y'all do y'all job, then everybody else do their job. Y'all understand? All they saying, the linebackers ain't coming. That's all they saying. They put it on y'all. So that means that's on me. So y'all better get to work.
Yes, sir.
Good job, man. Good job. Fight.
He didn't come in that time. He just stayed right there.
You got to protect. Yeah. When you talk about yeah, but you got to know that you can't be going off on no pass because that man they bringing one man more than we can block. All right. Okay, let's go, man. Let's go. Look. Ace tight. You got to be tight on this side. We got double crack. He catching out there. Come on, Jay. Come on, Jay. Hit that corner. Ace tight. Hold on. Come on.
Line number 20 zip.
You got to lead him around.
Line number 20 zip. Now let's go.
Let's go, baby.
We're here now with Reginald Curry, the athletic director at Maynard Jackson High School. Coach Curry, talk to us a little bit about what's going on with fall sports, not just football, but your other sports as well.
Right now for our fall sports, we are competing in cross country, volleyball, football, and softball. Now we're having a pretty good year. Our volleyball team is one of the best in the region this year. I think they have a record of 16-4. Miss Miley is doing a great job with the young ladies. Our softball team is doing pretty good as well, led by Coach Powell. And our football team is looking this year to be the first time in maybe 15 years they make it into the region playoffs. So we're looking to do great things at Maynard Jackson.
Y'all have gone through a tremendous transition, and y'all have worked very hard to make it a positive for your kids and for your coaches and for your faculty. Talk a little bit about that transition and not just some of the hurdles that you've gone through, but how you've been able to make it such a positive.
Yeah, we've been faced with some adversity, moving from a bigger facility from Maynard Jackson High School to now what is Maynard Jackson High School, Corn Middle School. It's been a rocky transition, but we've been able to make it work. Mr. Kenner has been a great interim principal, and he's done a great job helping us get through these tough points. And as long as with you guys too at Lakewood and Grady, they have really worked with us and prepared the fields and made everything possible for us to have an athletic season.
Well, we want it to be a positive thing for you, and as Mr. Kenner said, we want to keep our eyes on the prize, and we know that coming back into what will be the new Maynard Jackson High School will be an incredible facility. Talk a little bit about as we move forward. We're coming toward the end of September, 1st of October. Talk a little bit about moving into winter sports and what the expectations are for our winter sports at Maynard Jackson High School.
Right now for our winter sports, of course, our girls and our boys basketball team are going to be faced with some challenges, but we look to have a great year. We have a good group of returning starters for both boys and girls and look to go deep into our playoffs this year. So we're going to be displaced a little bit. We're going to be playing our home games at Crim High School, but I think our fans and our parents will be there to support us, and we look forward to getting ready for a great season.
One last question. You do an excellent job, and talk to me about why you wanted to look at and move into the field of athletic administration.
When I was in college, I think I was always geared around athletics, and it was just something that I wanted to do, and I still want to do. I mean, I want to take it a little farther as I get through my career, and it's just something that I have a passion for. I've been a former football player, coach, and it's just something that I have a love for. I like to see kids grow and develop, and I love to see them go out and do great things.
We're here now with Coach Eric Williams. For the first time in our Sports Update show in 2012, but we've been able to have a chance to talk to the head football coach and a couple of players. Coach Williams, let's talk a little bit about this season so far. Where do you feel like your team is?
Right now, I think we're gelling. We're off to a 2-1 start. We kind of let a game get away from us a couple of weeks ago against South Atlanta, and we had to go back and refocus and get our team together and get ready for this tough region that we're in.
I think you hit the nail on the head. This is a tough football region. Y'all have to go outside. You have to play schools outside of the metropolitan Atlanta area. What have you learned about some of those schools so far? You may not have played them yet. You're getting ready to play one tonight, but what have you learned about those schools so far?
Well, through my studies and doing my homework on the teams that we're about to play, we know that they have great size and great speed and great athleticism. So we know that we have to work hard, being a school where most of our kids are smaller in stature, that we have to work very hard and pay attention to detail to prepare for these games.
Coach, talk a little bit about, and we've talked with Mr. Kenner as well as Coach Curry earlier, talk about the transition in your practice situation and what's going on there. And I know you've overcome some major obstacles, and you're still continuing to be successful. Talk about those.
Well, yes. Being at Cohen Middle School has been kind of a struggle for us. We're kind of living out of portables and everything, but our kids are focused and they're driven as far as trying to make this season a great season. We have a lot of skill potential, and we have a lot of talent on the offensive line, a lot of young talent on the offensive line, and we're just trying to make the most out of the situation until we can get back into our penthouse on 801 Glenwood.
I was going to say, it sounds like to me you're keeping your eyes on the prize, and I think that's the philosophy that you have to have.
Yes, sir. It was just like when they was putting out the pictures of the new Lakewood. I mean, every week we would get the updated pictures, and we were just oohing and ahhing about, couldn't wait to get out there on that field to play. That's the same way we feel about getting back to 801 Glenwood and to our new school.
Coach, we appreciate your time, and good luck tonight, and we'll let you get back with your team. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Mr. Biggs.
This has been Coach Eric Williams, head football coach at Maynard Jackson High School. We'll be back with a couple of players in just a moment.
Woodrow! Woodrow! Hey, Jay! Lead him around. You on this side, Jay. Cornerback. Hit it! Hit it!
No, we don't listen, guys. Get what I got to say. Y'all got the wrong man. Listen. Stop saying let's do something else. We have stopped this team, but we're not making plays. We've got people in the backfield, quarterback getting hit, and he's still running. Y'all got to fit. Let's fit. Don't say let's go to something else. Let's do what we've been practicing all week and fit, and we'll be all right. Y'all want to go to something else? What we doing?
Why you going backwards?
Go,
But you gotta film. Look at it. I understand that. Now I know you play
the ball and hit the boy in the shoulder pad, and the boy dropped the ball. That's a pass all day.
We had a fumble on there, and everybody I asked just to be sure, and I thought it was wrong.
If I send you the film, and when you find out that's wrong, cause
that play right
there. The reason why we shuffle pass so it won't be no fumble on the jet sweep. The reason why we tell the man to run forward, he tossed the ball forward. The guy from West Virginia threw 5 touchdown passes in the Orange Bowl.
I understand
the people
that,
I got we've been running the whole season. Every time they hit the ground, they say incomplete pass. I'm just telling you, dog.
I mean, that's one play, whatever. Coach, let me tell you this. First of all,
it's still pivotal.
It's pivotal. But let me say this. Let me say this to you.
Don't demean
I know it. Okay, but let me say this to you.
Okay.
First of all,
Eric, you on, Eric? No, you on. DC. You on, man? Move back, Derek. Come on, Jack.
Hey, step back, y'all. Step back.
Come on, Derek. Go.
Again, for the first time, we get to talk to a couple of the football players that will be playing in tonight's ball game. We're here with Kendrick Collier, cornerback, wide receiver, defensive back, punt returner, kick returner for Maynard Jackson High School. Talk a little bit about your role on the team for Maynard Jackson High School.
I just do whatever my coach tells me to do to help us win, to help us get a W. That's the most important part.
You've had a chance to play 3 ball games now. Talk about maybe your highlight in those 3 ball games to this point.
Starting off 2-0. We haven't done that in a long time, and our defensive line coach thanked us in the middle of one of our games and said we never did that before, so it felt good to give coach that experience.
How do you feel about your role on the team and being a senior and the leadership that you provide for the younger players?
Oh, it's a real important role to play, because a lot of people look up to me and they like to do the things that I do, so I got to play my part and also be a mentor and a leader to the people that's coming up.
You're willing to take on that role, and sometimes it can be a heavy burden and feels like a elephant sitting on your shoulders, but you're willing to take that on.
Oh, yes, sir, I am.
Kendrick, let's talk a little bit about some of your personal highlights, some of the things that you've accomplished during this 2-1 start.
In the first game, I took a 90-yard interception back for a touchdown. We were in cover 3. Quarterback overthrew it. I read it perfectly. I jumped it, and I just took it. I got some great blocks. One of my teammates, my brother Nelson Seymour, gave me a good block, and it was all good from there.
And talk about punt return or kickoff return.
I took 2 long punt returns, but I didn't score. It was hard for me. I took them down to inside the 10-yard line, but just somebody missed one block, and they came and stopped me.
Let's talk a little bit about the importance of special teams. Obviously, you returning those balls changed the field position and changed maybe the complexion of the game. How important do you think special teams are?
Oh, it's really important. Momentum. It's a great momentum shift. If we down, we can switch the field and give our offense a good chance to score. Give us a touchdown so we can get back in the game.
Thank you, Kendrick. We're here now with Malik Reed, defensive end, tight end, and fullback for Maynard Jackson High School, and again we get to talk to some of the players. Malik, talk a little bit about your season so far and how you see Maynard Jackson's team and how we've done so far.
It's been a good year. We're starting off good. We had a bumpy road, but we can get off of that and go on and continue to win, hopefully.
Let's talk about your positions. You've played both ways, obviously playing defensive end as well as tight end and fullback. How hard is that during a ball game? Obviously, you play a lot of minutes. How hard is that on you?
It's not as hard as it should be, because coach has been keeping us in practice. We've been running a lot, keeping us in shape.
Is a lot to learn? A lot of different defensive calls on the defensive side of the ball, a lot of offensive plays on the offensive side of the ball. Tell me what you go through as you're trying to learn to make sure so you can differentiate between the offensive side of the ball, defensive side of the ball.
A lot of repetitions, understanding what's defense, what's offense, realizing the plays, and trying to keep it simple.
If you could name one highlight so far, talk about that one highlight. Tell me about something great that you've done whether it's a block, whether it's a ball caught, whether it's a sack. Talk about that one highlight that you've contributed to the team's success to this point.
We had a block punt against South Atlanta. I blocked the punt, and afterwards it went for a touchdown. I had a few crackbacks to add into that touchdown, so it was good.
That's great.
I'm a senior.
You're a senior. Yes, so what are your plans as you finish your year? And I know it sounds like a long way away, but it'll be here in the blink of an eye. What are your plans once you graduate from Maynard Jackson High School?
I plan on going to college, obviously. I'm not sure yet, but I know that there are some scouts looking for me, and I just try to take my talents there and do good in college.
Do you have any schools that you're particularly interested in?
I like Auburn, Miami, Louisville, and North Carolina.
Those are all great schools. Talk a little bit about how you're doing as a student.
I think I'm doing well as a student. I'm trying to keep all A's this year so I can get my GPA up.
You work hard on your technique and fundamentals?
Yes, sir.
Your coaches get you to work hard on your technique and fundamentals?
Yes, sir. Always stay low. That's what they say.
There you go. Great. We've been here with Malik Reed, defensive end, tight end, and fullback for Maynard Jackson High School. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hi, my name is Antonisha Powell. I'm a varsity cheerleader. I am a senior. I've been cheering since I was 5. I plan to go to college and major in business administration. My favorite subject is social studies. Advice that I would like to give to young girls is to be whatever you would like to be, stay in school, and always do your work.
Hi, my name is Brianna Tucker. I'm a senior here at Maynard Jackson High School. I've been cheering since I was in middle school. After graduating high school, I plan to attend Georgia Southern and major in journalism. After I graduate college, I would like to go to law school and become a lawyer. My advice to younger girls is to stay focused, stay in school, and away from boys. Keep your heads in the book.
Hi, my name is Courtney Williams, and I am a senior at Maynard Jackson High School. I'm a varsity cheerleader. I like to study math. When I graduate from high school, I want to study early childhood education. My advice for upcoming cheerleaders would be to study hard and maintain good grades.
Hi, my name is Kiana Freeman, and I'm a junior at Maynard Jackson High School. I'm a varsity cheerleader. I like to study math. When I graduate from high school, I would like to attend college and study nursing. My advice to young kids out there today is to follow your dreams and don't let nobody tell you different.
Maynard Jackson, we'll put you to the test. We'll rock the house, no one can stop the crew. Hey, yo, cause we're always on top. Yeah.
We're here now with Russell Thomas, the head girls track coach at Maynard Jackson High School. Coach Thomas, talk a little bit about your off-season conditioning and what you do with the girls. Do you have a lot of girls that are in other sports, or are you working with the girls in the off-season?
Actually, my girls run year-round. To be competitive at this level, you have to pretty much, it wasn't like when we were in school, you could play everything. You got to specialize to make it to the next level. So they're involved in a summer track program, which they do a lot of conditioning and fundamental work, which I'm big on, and we start weight training pretty much soon as school starts. So it's pretty much a year-round endeavor to be successful.
Now I'm gonna toot your horn for a second. You've had some success. You've done well with the teams that you had. What is the secret to that success?
Finding girls that are dedicated and getting them to buy in. That's the biggest thing. Kids in the city have so many other things that they much rather be doing, but if you get them to feel a part of something and buy in, then it's easier to get them to be a part of a successful program.
Now you're also a health and physical education teacher, so you get a chance to see the girls as, when I was a health and physical education teacher, I wanted the 9th graders because I wanted to be able to see the new crop of kids coming in. Most of the time you knew them before they got to your school, but I wanted to be a part of their life. How do you handle that in the health and physical education?
Actually, it works two-pronged for me. My health and physical education program is very strenuous, and it's basically track-based. So that's actually where I find them. And when I identify talent, I snatch them up, and they're with me ever since. Some of my best runners, I catch in 8th and 9th grade, and they stay with me, and they're successful by the time they graduate.
Let's talk about some of the success you've had over the past few years as a track program.
I've been with the program probably about 6 years, and I had to basically start from nothing. 2 years ago, we finished the season out before state, ranked number 11 in the state, I think last year we made it to number 8 in the state. So this year our goal is to make top 5, and had a couple of qualifiers last year. Left a few races on the table, so hopefully we can pick it up and get back to it this year.
Coach, other people that we've talked to already have talked about the difficulties of moving from the former Maynard Jackson facility to the current Maynard Jackson facility, the old Cohen Middle School. How are you going to deal with that as track season approaches in the spring?
I've actually started dealing with it last year, securing facilities, weight facilities, other tracks, facilities just, that we travel and we load them up, and that's the way we get it done. I mean, it's a little adversity. It's just 1 year, so we'll make it do what it do for 1 season, and then we'll come back next year in our facility and not skip a beat.
I'm going to ask you a hard question now.
Okay.
As a male teacher, working with females, and obviously we would love to have hundreds of girls come out for track at Maynard Jackson, but working with females, you obviously have a knack for that because you've had a lot of success. Talk to me a little bit about what makes you successful with working with women.
Whether it's women or men, the kids in the city generally want somebody that care about them. If they find out that you care about them and you're sincere, then they'll do anything for you. I started out actually as a boys coach. I was varsity basketball coach at Maynard Jackson. It was Southside, and boys coach in middle school and girls. And I just enjoy girls more because they seem to be a little bit more focused, not as stubborn, and they listen. And that makes my life a lot easier, So I feel that, it's one of those things where I've done both, and I just enjoy doing girls more. The gratification is a little greater for coaching girls for me.
Coach, we appreciate you taking a minute, and I know you're here to cheer Maynard Jackson on to a big victory tonight against Callaway. So we appreciate you taking the time out to speak to us.
Thank you so much.
We're here now with Coach Powell, Coach Michelle Powell, the softball coach at Maynard Jackson High School. Coach Powell, talk a little bit about your softball team and how your season's going so far.
Okay, I actually got the softball team 3 years ago, and when I first got it, majority of my players were all seniors. So the following year, I really had to hit the ground hunting, trying to get freshmen, sophomores to actually come out and play. So last year, I had about 90% freshmen, and 90% of them came back this year, along with other freshmen. So what I'm really trying to build is leadership, keep them coming back. So last night was the first game that we had won in the last 2 years.
Great.
You'd have thought they won a championship, and it was on the last game of the season. So they were positive about that, even though they had lost every other game. Some that were very close, and some that were inexperienced for them, but they ended on a positive note, and their thing was to come back with that same enthusiasm, and it was just the beginning of a next year. So that's the way they looked at it.
And that's I guess what I was going to say is building upon that, and trying to build a program with 9th and 10th graders, and building a program so that as they grow, they can continue to grow, stay together, continue to grow, and continue to get better.
Yes.
We've talked about softball. Let's talk a little bit about your teaching responsibilities.
I'm a health and physical education teacher in the building of Maynard Jackson. I have been there, I want to say at least maybe 12 years. I have seen the kids come and go. With some of the responsibilities that I have, it has really been a challenge with new principals, different type of standards that we've gone through, and now the Common Core, keys. It has made me realize that maybe I need some further classes myself or some relearning, because everything is a relearning issue. As long as there's change, there's always growth. And that's the way I look at it. I try to stay positive. Even some of the things of being in a new building right now, trying to do some of those same things that we touched upon in education for last year, having it roll over in a new environment. It's challenging, and to keep up with a growing team, it is really challenging. I'm trying to get the kids academically strong, so in order to do that, I make sure that I'm academically strong. Try to keep in touch with some of the things, even out of my area, like the math that's going on, the science that's going on, the reading, trying to make sure I keep that incorporated with health and physical education as well.
That's a tremendous outlook that you have, because that correlation between that and I'm a former health and physical education teacher as well, and you constantly work on different aspects and try to incorporate them into what
Yes.
you're doing in the gym. People
Yes.
think it's roll the ball out.
Oh, no.
It's much more than that.
It's
I mean, there's so
math.
many things you can
It's
teach.
math, it's science, it's physics. There's a lot of things that are incorporated in their other classes, even their biology classes, and they didn't really realize how close they were until some of the projects and things that we started working on, and they could come back and share some of those same things in health. They really get amazed.
That's great. That's great. I know you're continuing to work on that, and
Yes.
you always grow. The longer you're in it, the more you continue to try to work to grow as a teacher, as a coach,
Yes.
and try to help the young people at Maynard Jackson, or in my aspect across the system. But Coach Powell, we appreciate your time and
Thank you.
appreciate you and the work that you do with the kids at Maynard Jackson High School.
I thank you for this opportunity.
Absolutely. We're here now with Dr. Richard Williams, Academy Leader for Early College and Science. Engineering, excuse me, at Maynard Jackson High School. Dr. Williams, talk a little bit about your program and the type of students that you're looking for in your program.
Well, primarily we offer an early college program within an engineering curriculum, which enables students in their 11th grade year to begin college, and we've had students graduate with up to 2 years of college credit upon graduating from Maynard Jackson High School. We're success this year. We have over 49 students enrolled. This is our third year, our third cohort of students. We went from 8 students to 16 students, and now, like I said, we're close to 50 students in the program. We're real excited about the things we do. The type of student we're looking for is the type of student that wants to get ahead and achieve, quite frankly. We don't handpick our students. We take whoever comes to us. But when they come to us, what we try to do is make sure they get a fulfilling experience and get a taste of college. The program was formed primarily for first-generation college students, kids who had folks in their family who've never been to college. Now we're proud to say that not only do we have kids going to college, but we have some of their parents going with them.
That's fantastic.
Awesome thing.
Talk a little bit about the climate that your school within Maynard Jackson produces and the expectations that are put on the students.
We're a family unit. We laugh together, we cry together, we fuss, we fight, but we promote achievement in every field of endeavor that students get into. And really, what we really want to promote is a family type atmosphere and brother or sister's keeper, for lack of a better expression. We want to promote self-responsibility, respect, and we want to promote a culture that promotes achievement in the school.
Now, your relationship between early college and engineering, are most of your kids geared toward the engineering field, or can they go in different directions?
They go in different directions. What we've used engineering for is a hook. We want to attract kids who have an interest in engineering, as well as kids that don't know what they want to do. The engineering simply a hook. We have a primary college preparatory curriculum. What we promote is college going. And ultimately, we want a kid to finish on the college preparatory track in Atlanta Public Schools and be able to achieve and subsequently go into post-secondary education and opportunities.
I have to ask the question because I've asked it of just about everybody else. As you've made the transition from what was Maynard Jackson to where you are now, what was Cohen, which is now Maynard Jackson, what are some of the pitfalls that you've had, and what are some of the successes that you've had?
Well, the challenge obviously is that with redistricting and everything, we've gone from an environment where we had possibly 700 kids in a building built for 1,500 to close to 1,100 kids in a building built for 700. So quite that does cause some space constraints. But the successes we've had is the fact that we've learned to adjust. We've had to make adjustments. We've had to move within a 13-14 month period. We will have 2 major moves out of Maynard Jackson's old building into Cohen and back into subsequently the new Maynard Jackson. So our kids are learning how to be flexible, if not anything else, and I'm just so proud of what they've done and the receptiveness they have and the anticipation of moving into a new building.
Has the term "keep your eyes on the prize" ever come out?
Few times. I try not to quote everybody, but that's one I have to steal every now and then because there is a prize at the end, and not only with the transition from school to school, but actually the transition from high school to college. And our prize is, of course, getting your high school diploma and moving on to opportunities post-secondary.
Dr. Williams, we appreciate you taking the time, and I know you're here to cheer Maynard Jackson on to a big victory tonight against Callaway. We appreciate you spending some time with us.
Jeff, you better believe it. Let's go Jaguars.
Okay. Love it. This has been Dr. Richard Williams, Academy Leader for Early College and Engineering and Maynard Jackson High School. We'll be back in just a moment.
No, don't you want to be on that?
Go ahead.
No, don't kick off return.
Okay.
I'm going to kick off.
Get rid of offense, so let me say this real quick. They said we ain't getting no push up front from upstairs. Plus, when we got opportunities to make plays, we're not making plays. We just had the quarterback in the backfield, and we reached.
Somebody just cut me off. I just had
You almost had somebody got.
I told you about big as y'all. That quarterback big as y'all, and y'all scared to hit him or something? Y'all got to make plays. That's what y'all in the game for, to make plays. Y'all in position. We done practiced all week on this, and y'all are in position. Make the play.
We finna just shoot them down, and we finna blitz. All right? We just gonna shoot the gap. And let's play. Crab, Crab, get in the gaps and let's play. We're gonna be all right. Offense gonna score. You know that.
Set it up. Set it up. Set it up. Set it up. Set it up.
Let's go. That's good personnel. Let's do this, man. Let's do this. Hey, let's go trips right 100 pass. Done that, you ready? Trips right 100 pass.
Safety's on the head. You send somebody straight to that middle.
Tight end. Are you the Bama?
I do.
If Delta can't hit it.
I got it.
Come on, Aaron. There you go.
But he'll see the wheel and bounce back. The mic don't be there if he run to the right side.
The wheel ain't got to come up though. Remember, look, every gap's covered. He shouldn't have. All he got to do now is get ready to look flow for anything scrape outside. Cause we feel it, man, in the gap, there is no gap.
I ain't talking about pin under the top.
I'm telling you, said the wheel.
I hope you've enjoyed tonight's show. You've had a chance to meet the interim principal, Dr. Kenner, the athletic director, the head football coach. But what's most important is some of our student athletes, some of our football players, as well as some of our cheerleaders, some of our coaches, as well as the Academy Leader for Early College and Engineering, Dr. Richard Williams. So I hope you've learned a little bit more about Maynard Jackson and the great things that are happening there. We appreciate you watching tonight. Again, I'm Jeff Beggs, Director of Athletics for Atlanta Public Schools. Hope to see you next week.